for the it's a bias cut. So first you start out, you prepare your muslin. Just the first thing. You take your fabric, which comes in the straight grain, and you turn it onto your bias grain, which is going to be your diagonal grain. It should look like little cross hatches going down. Alrighty. After you have cut your bias strip of fabric out, then you're going to take your pins, and first thing is you measure from the shoulder neck down to under the bust, and you add 3 inches. Then you're going to measure your width from one side to the other, adding 2 inches. Okay, after you've done that, then you're going to pin the outline of your style lines. So this is where, basically where your top is going to stop and start turning. Makes sense? Okay. So what we're going to do first, since we have our bias strip of fabric, we're going to, I'm going to use this one. The piece, not much. I'm going to start. I'm going to take and we're going to pin and you leave, you go over the seam, leaving at least a ½ inch for seam allowance. Okay. And then we're going to go down and pin to our side, leaving room for ½ inch of seam allowance on the side. Okay. Now, you're going to start with the simple pleating. I'm going to pleat. So basically, you're just taking your hands and you're folding your fabric. Continue to pleat. Okay, so as you see now, I've pleated my fabric. My pleats go all the way down to the other side. Now, this is where you begin to do your twisting motion with your top. I'm going to take this here, and go probably up to here. I'm going to twist. Twist. Okay. And after you twist, you're now going to start pulling and pinning. So you're going to smooth and pin, smooth over the arm. Remember to leave room for ½ inch. Going to smooth and pin again over the armhole. Now you're going to pin your other side. So at this point, you're smoothing and pinning, smoothing and pinning. Now, being that this is bias cut, it did not call for it to be on the 90, going down the center. Okay. And this is what you end up with. Now, you see where your style line is. We're going to cut off first the excess that's hanging. Just a little bit more. sure that your paint is secure. Okay. Now, your style line is pretty much underneath the bust. So now you're going to mark your shoulder, mark your armhole, you do not have to pinch for ease because it is an open sleeve. It's an open armhole, no sleeve on it. Then you mark your side. You're going to come over and you're going to mark your other arm, your other shoulder. Mark this armhole. Then you're going to turn, you're going to mark your side again. Remembering that your style line is underneath. So we're going to start from right here. The twist is this right here, which will be excess. Mark it. Right on your style line. It's easier with the pen, with pens, because you can feel it with the pencil. So actually, this is going to be excess. It's going to be cut off. But the thing about style lines to remember, remember this on your curves. Around the armhole, it's going to be 1/4 instead of a half because it is a curve. So remember that. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to find our style line, which is kind of like right here. Completed. And now I'm just going to start pretty much marking where to cut off. So at this point, let's get this together. You're marking pretty much what to take off. Okay. Now the thing about it is, even if it is a little messed on one side, you have to true blend and equalize. So you true blend and equalize by the side that is correct, and you should come out all right. But we're just going to go ahead and remove the excess. Cut this excess off. And when you place it on, we're going to move to the next step in a few minutes. So you'll be putting it on pattern paper. Okay, so now we're going to begin on our second part. It's actually now removing the drape material from the mannequin and putting it onto the pattern paper. Now, if you are familiar with pattern making, basically you're pattern making but on the mannequin. That's the whole idea of draping. But your true blend and equalize rules still do apply to this. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to cut off our style lines. Kind of hold this down. So now I'm just cutting off my excess. Even with the draping, you do have to add a 1/2 seam allowance. That's just to be on the safe side. Plus you need seam allowance. Remember to true blend and equalize. Now I'm going to begin to trace. This is my piece. Now I'm going to begin to trace it onto the pattern paper with simple my armhole. Give you this. We're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. Mark out your lines. But even though this is a twist top, it's still supposed to be equal. So you do need to remember that the laws of true blending equalize do still